Tippy time my damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. When you're farming out your Grandmasters, whether it's to earn your Conqueror seal, chasing down that new gold roll palindrome, or chasing exotics and materials, there is one tool perfectly suited for this, and it's often overlooked. These are the AEON exotic gauntlets, of which all three of our classes can use, and we have three different ways to use them. They're actually stupidly strong, whether you're just running the one or all three of them. I'd actually like to see other AEON variants, perhaps a series of legs that make dungeons easier, or an AEON series of chest pieces that would work inside a gambit, similar to the old Gambit Prime legendary gear sets. But currently we've only got the one. At the end of the mod column we can pick the sect, the most popular one being Sect of Insight. When we use a finisher on an elite, we generate a special ammo brick for our fire team. That's any orange bar enemy and up. And when finishing mini bosses, bosses and champions, we're going to generate heavy ammo for our fire team. These special bricks are better than our scouts, but not nearly as good as our general special ammo bricks from our finders, rewarding us about 60% of one. The heavy ammo bricks, on the other hand, are genuine ammo bricks. Sect of Insight is common for our Void Hunters as they've got their Vanishing Step to go invis off dodges. We pair that with the Gambler's Dodge to give us another Smoke Bomb to allow me to use the Trapper's Ambush to dive for that invis if our team's not quite set up for that finish yet. With Echo of Obscurity, after we complete our finisher we again go invis, and Persistent ups our invisibility uptime a further 40%. This can come in handy particularly in activities like the Warden of Nothing strike, as it has multiple areas with chainsaw clustered together. We become visible for those brief moments whilst doing a finisher. I highly recommend using the Proximity Ward mod to give us a 200 HP Void Overshield. We run a special ammo finisher on our cape with both the Dreadful finisher inside the artifact and gold from lead. So when we pick up a special brick, it's going to give us some heavy ammo. If we're rocking all three, the Sector Force, aka our damage resistant fiend, runs point, with Sector Vigor nipping at his heels, ready for the stun, whilst Insight Snakes are on the back, getting ready for that finish. This is why it's traditionally favoured by the Void Hunters, but our Strand Warlock has that real crafty aspect, the Weave Walk, where we double air dodge, turning us invisible and giving us a 95% damage resist from which we can finish it out of. And our Void Titans had that unbreakable shield aspect that won't let up as long as we're eating damage. Now each sect has a bonus perk. With Insight, when we finish, we'll receive a burst of super energy. And we gain bonus super energy with 2 precision multi-kills. It generates an Orb of Power. A basic Orb of Power gives us a 2.5% bump of super energy, whereas these orbs give us a 3.75% bump. Ideally we want to use a weapon that pops grapes. In the kinetic slot, I like the Wishy. The Vex Mythic class is pretty popular this season as it can unstop champions, and in the heavy slot, Thunderlord is best in class. The Aeon Souls are the Warlock's variant, and the character of which I prefer to run the Sect of Force on. So whilst we stun a champion or land rapid precision hits on a powerful combatant, it's going to mark them, giving all our allies a 20% damage bonus. And this can be stacked with other buffs and debuffs. Every time we stun, it's going to grant our Aeon users a 33% boost to both our grenade and melee ability energy for 3 seconds. So if we're running Sector Force, we want every tool in our toolbox to be able to stun. Prismatic is quite good for this, particularly on our Warlocks and Titans, as both of their grenades can take on unstops and overloads. There's a couple of weapons that work particularly well, the first of which is the Gjallarhorn Rocket, so not only can we stun champs with this, it's also going to grant our allies Wolfpack rounds on their rocket launchers. It's one of the best rockets to pair with that heavy ordnance regeneration inside the artifact, where dealing sustained damage with a rocket launcher grants us damage resistance and an increase to our grenade and melee regeneration. With most rockets this means firing several rockets at a target, but with the Gjallarhorn, as those wolf packs snap away at our enemies, it's going to give us that 25% damage resist for 13 seconds. A great multi-purpose stunner is the Darcy, as this season's snipers break barriers, it can jolt, whilst buffing our allies' legendary sniper rifles. Another great multi-purpose stunner I like to use is the Backfang Glaive from Gambit with jolting feedback, so we can circumvent the double stun, making this both an unstop and overload weapon. As we are the primary stunner, we're no doubt going to want that defibrillating blast, giving us max bolt charge when we jolt, whilst healing ourselves in the process. and when paired with the flashover mod, this is going to bump that damage up to 55k. The Sect of Force Private buff is going to grant us a bonus 40 handling and 30 reload speed whenever we hit 4 precision hits within 3 seconds for 10 seconds. I found 2 burst and 4 burst pulse rifles like the Revision 0 particularly good at this. When it comes to the Sect of Vigor, you're leading the charge whilst being the team medic. When an ally goes down, we get a 40% damage resist for 15 seconds. And inside Grandmasters, that's how long it takes for our allies' ghosts to decide to revive them. And during this 15 seconds, we have a 25% class energy bonus. This way we could either Invis dodge, rift down, or barrier up to get that res nice and safe. We revive our down buddy, we get another 40% damage resist for 10 seconds, giving me ample time to escape from the danger, whilst restoring us 100% class ability energy. I think Sect of Vigor is the most underused, but probably one of the better ones, particularly if you're running a Grandmaster through LFG. The thing I like about Vigor is that you can slap it on the side of any great class build you've already got set up. No doubt there's tons of Titans out there using that Stormscape aspect, but it also works great with a Drinker's Lash build. Being that our pretty princess warlocks are the queens of autonomy, we've got tons of great options to choose from. We've got that Weaver's Call strand aspect for severing minions, Arc Souls, Helion, or Child of the Old Gods. No matter what you pick, you won't be shy of some carefree damage. It probably works worst on our Hunter, as realistically there's only 3 aspects: Ascension, Acrobat's Dodge, or the Threaded Spectre to abuse, and somehow they just don't flow the same. With Ascension you got to go into that fight Richard deep, and if you get downed, you can't be much of a medic. The Acrobat's Dodge is honestly a bit overkill, as we don't want to straight up nuke the champs, as we still want that stylist finisher. I'd argue that the Threaded Spectre actually works best, with that taunt mechanic helping to distract as the team gets into position. This kit has a lot more damage resist available to us. I felt quite comfortable rocking my Crux Determination with the slide shot trait for some fun up close boss deletes, particularly when you had that heavy ordnance and the artifact feeding us that 25% damage resist. We can do it pretty carefree with that unlimited ammo thanks to our AEON finisher, and the perpetual destruction and the artifact will also refund us rockets. Now the Sect of Vigor is first into the battle, ideally with the other AEON cultists sticking within 10 meters. This way, if we ever hit critical health, they'll receive an instant 25% damage resist and get a 15% class energy boost. If you're running all 3 of these, we generally have Vigor go in and put down his barricade, Force steps in for the little damage, big stun, Vigor gives us a big chunk of burst damage, whilst Insight gets into finisher position, just chipping any little extra damage off that rock until he's ready to be finished. If you got a committed fire team, this strat can really work, but even if you chose to run 1 or 2 of them, each of them has some big team bonuses and personal bonuses that will make Grandmasters easier. I'm not going to post up my builds that I used here, but I'll leave dims in the description down below if you want to check them out. I'd love to know what you guys think about adding other AEON series to the game, perhaps even like a 6 sect AEON helmet for raid squads, something like that. Holler at me in the comments down below, make sure to thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy time at Damies, what a tie.